They were.
Is that buddy?
Yes, I think so.
All right, thanks for coming in. As you know, we do this once a month, and we don't even have to do it once a month if our stuff is in order. And the other big reason I wanted to have it today is because Jim is now going to be sending us all the aging reports, and we will still do the same things we always have, but he will be the one riding us now. The thing that I want to do different, it worked before, but I think this will make it work better. That, especially with claims, I would like Jim and myself to be notified immediately when there's a claim in the works. Immediately. Even I don't even care if it's not a claim yet. Don't wait till it's a claim, because you know that maybe there's something that we can do, or something that he knows, or somebody he can call to help us negotiate that claim, or get out of the claim, or whatever. So let's make sure immediately. Anytime there's anything that looks like it's going to cost the company money, let's get after Jim and let him know by email what it is, what has happened with it, and yeah, if he's over there, you just walk over and explain what's going on. He's going to be able to fight for our battles a lot better if he has clear information. The advantage we have with him over Doug never sat in our seats. Okay, Doug was a great leader, he was good at talking to people and talking to customers, and he was great for that. But he never did sit in a dispatcher seat and know exactly how these claims come about, how hard they are to fight sometimes. Jimmy's seen it all. He's fought them and really anything to do with collection. So let's make sure that we take advantage of what we got. I think it's going to be better than what we had. So let's do that. I saw a sign. I don't know if any of you noticed it coming in the door over there from the top of the steps. The gist of it is, you choose to be happy. How do you be happy? You choose to be happy. I don't know why I decided to bring that up. It's like a choice that we have. A lot of things happen in a lot of people's lives, but we still have a choice to be happy. So, yeah, really don't have much to do with collections, but I decided to say that anyway. Let's see. Jimbo? Jim's going to take what he needs here to just talk about how he's going to do it.
Guys, and thank you for having me. The way I see you guys and the way you get after claims, even comm checks that are out there that haven't been processed, I think it's pretty phenomenal. I think it's gotten better over the past 3 or 4 years. But collections, claims, anything to do with financial is one of those things that when you're on the desk and you're jamming and you're waiting for Church Bros to call you to make 10 appointments, and you know, bottom league's on your butt about whatever, it's difficult sometimes. When you see something out there that needs to be collected, and you know it needs to be collected, but you just can't seem to get off the phone and can't get momentum going in that direction. I understand it. I know exactly what it is. The thing about my goal with you guys and working with you guys is I want you to be able to come up to me for any reason at all and say, look, here's his carrier right here. He's saying he's not going to deliver a load. He's holding our load ransom. You know, if you've got 10 loads to dispatch, let me handle it. I'll call him. I said, I'll do what I need to do to expedite the process. And a lot of people think collections is yelling and, you know, getting in their face and threatening them. I choose to do it a different way. Diplomacy, I think, works as well most times. Let's see. I'm just going to hit the areas that I'm charged with, and if you guys have any questions, just fire them my way, okay? The AR. This year we're going to have a concerted effort to keep within that 30 days. That's gonna take every week when you get the report, looking at it. That's the biggest thing. I think Doug color codes stuff and all that. I don't know if I'll do that. I'm more likely to walk over to you and say, look at this right here. I'm not gonna be a pain in your ass either. You know, you guys are all adults, you're professionals. If you see an issue arise, let me know. Text me, call me. If I'm on the road, traveling for business, text me or email me. And then if I can write that, I'll jump on it. The biggest thing is, especially with claims, is man, how critical is it? And Dave's probably the best I've seen at it. How critical is it to jump on it immediately? If you don't have all your proper documentation within 3 days, it's a nightmare. Because you end up, especially the bigger insurance companies, you end up talking to 5 or 6 people and you have to repeat everything. That's a pain, that's a time sucker. So I urge you guys, and here's you guys all have it, but I just put it in my notes. If you guys, you guys got this, the claim procedures thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw Dave put some notes on there. Dave taught me everything I know about claims. So, look at that. I mean, if you have an issue, pull it out, put it on your desk. Okay, am I doing that? Bam, bam, check it off. The worst part is if you forget to get a claim number on that first phone call. You know, that's critical because everyone you talk to from that point forward is going to say, okay, what's your claim number? If you're fumbling around, you know, they make note, they may make note of it, and then next time you're calling, say, well, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Let's just try to rip him, you know. So I urge you guys, the first 3 days, critical. And again, if you need assistance with that, you let me know.
JD, let me say one thing about what you just said about somebody holding your a load hostage or a touchy situation with a driver, a company, sort of like that artist load where we were getting nowhere with it. That's a great example, and 2 reasons for that. It takes the person who is in the conflict out of it. It brings somebody completely new in it. It's like a mediator. You know, sometimes when you start a conflict with somebody and you're both pushing and pushing back and forth, that's there. The reason for the conflict may be not as prevalent as the conflict itself. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, we got to handle our own stuff, but you get to a spot where you just know you're not going anywhere with something. Just say, hey, we're going to turn it over to our claims adjuster, or whatever you want to call it. You can call them anything you want. But just, you know, we're turning them over to our claims.
You know what? I was thinking about that same thing yesterday. When you hear the word legal, I mean, it kind of ruffles people's feathers.
Legal advisor?
Legal advisor.
Just say that, legal advisor.
Or in-house legal department, or legal Jackson.
Yeah.
I
You
agree.
can BS your way through. Hey, attorney at law, Jim.
One thing for sure, I'll try my best. And another thing I was going to say is you guys, you know, Chad, Maddie, Dave, Rita, you guys have all kind of got into the claims, got into the AR. But what I would love to see is you new guys learn a little bit more about it. So you feel comfortable instead of saying, hey, Skip, do that, you know, and Skip's got a pile of stuff on his desk. If you can do it the right way from the start, the learning curve is cut in half. So
That is my next point, JD. That is exactly my next point. Starting next meeting, or starting after this meeting, Chad is going to, what's the word? Delegate some customers to all 3 of these guys, the folks in the group. He's going to show you how he does it, and he's going to give you customers to chase on money or anything that happens. He'll still chase what he chases, but he's going to, and that's what we have to do. If everyone's going to get better at what we do, if, you know, God forbid if Rita falls off a mountain tomorrow, Because, you know, Jake mentioned it yesterday in our meeting. I mean, would we be able to do what Rita does on a daily basis? What would we? I think maybe, yeah, with help of other groups, but not really good. So that kind of stuff there has to be able to be done by everyone in the group. So Chad and then Dave, do you already do some chasing? Okay. Dave, I want you to start assigning Josh some of your customers. Just pick a couple. And I want you to go through what you do with them, how you do it, and you know, who to contact. And he's gonna, next meeting, he's gonna actually talk about the customer. And then anyone that don't know how to chase a claim, I want you guys to set up an appointment with Jim. He can meet you before work, during work, whatever, after work. But I want him to go through, maybe all three at a time, huh, JD? Sometime? That'd be easiest. So Jake, I want you to set up an appointment and make sure these guys are good with the appointment. And it'd probably be better if it's all three at a time, not to be during work. Maybe take a half hour, JD, before work sometime.
Sure.
Just talk to JD on how
Depends
long
on
it should be.
On the amount of claims and the amount of issues. But yeah, if you guys can like consolidate all in one little pile. And really the biggest thing, I mean, this is paramount. Without the right information, I can't do my job as well. I'll be bugging, I'll be asking questions about, okay, do you have the carrier, and Rita, I'll be leaning on you too, like the carrier agreements. I mean, that's the first step. You know, any documentation that I need, I'd love to have it the first time you say, okay, take it. So I have everything organized. Let's see. Be clear and concise with the carriers. If you know it's going to be a claim, just be straight with them. Say, look, sorry, we're working our butts off to try to minimize this thing for you, but this is going to look like it's going to be a loss. So let's work together and try to get this thing resolved. Give your insurance company information, policy numbers, all that stuff. All right, credit reports. And in my opinion, a lot of people think, well, you know, getting a credit report is, well, it is what it is, but it's how you read it. And I'm still learning how to read them because there's a bunch of them out there. But that allows you to make an informative decision on the credit limit that we establish. How is that done here, Skip? I mean, do individuals
No rhyme or
set
reason.
them?
Yeah. Normally they come to me on when there's a new customer.
Right.
And they ask, well, you know, where should we cut them off?
And how do we do it?
I just give them a number.
Amount?
I just give them. I start with 10,000.
I'm gonna try to look at that. I don't know how I'm gonna look at it, but I think right there is a very important.
You guys understand what we're talking about? The credit, you know, when
to
we
the customer.
yeah.
Well, because I'll tell you, the trouble it can get in is independence. We thought last year we didn't have a really set, firm deal. We thought we knew Chad because we had worked with him somewhere else. And then all of a sudden I'd done about 50 loads in 6 weeks. And now he owes us all that money
Yeah.
because we didn't really set up. So,
What did you set it up at first?
I don't even know.
Then, just
10.
get with
Generic,
your
but
And
standard.
we got
It's
extended
20,
because
but
the
yeah.
loads were coming in. The loads were coming in, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the system does not do anything. I thought the system
No.
stops you.
Not at all.
The
It's
system
just,
doesn't stop you?
no,
If they exceed $10,000 past due, it doesn't stop
There's
you?
no
It used to.
warning, no.
Low Tech used to.
and there's no warning.
Yeah, low tech will at
nothing.
least tell you.
Yeah, that's an
That's
issue.
like, yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
a
look
big
into
one.
that one.
Because when I set up, you know, customer or whatever, I'd go over to Ben and Dan when I was first learning, and they're like, you know, the credit limit, you just put like about, you know, what would you like, about 10 was like the standard that you said.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, but it doesn't do anything.
That's
Alright.
not gonna work on that.
Yeah.
With the credit limit, a lot of it depends on what you anticipate this customer to do. How much business, how many loads, their past credit history. I think a generic number is not the way to go. I think we need to analyze the customer, anticipate how many loads you think they're gonna do per month, look at it as a 30-day cycle, and keep an eye on it. You gotta keep an eye on it, because if it's gotten to 31 days, and all of a sudden, like Maddie's situation, you've got 10 or 12 loads, and you did your job by asking them to sign the payment terms agreement, that's easy for me. I mean, hey, you know, we agreed, didn't we agree? Tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't we agree that you're gonna pay within 21 days? So, pretty important. These big ad deals, like, you know, Powers, you've been doing business with Powers for 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
And that's a good example, because they just hammered loads. And I ran into it too. I mean, when I was on the desk, man, all you're looking for is do more loads. And sometimes you lose sight of the fact. So I'm saying, let's be very careful. And if you need my help with analyzing the credit reports and all that stuff, I'm here. And one more thing, Skip. The legal side. Let's try to avoid going to legal any way possible. Do you know that of our return, our collection percentage is 10.9%? So, $100,000 claim, you got $10,000 back of your money. So,
Now, do you
the numbers-
consider, turning it over to collections legal? Is that legal?
I'm
Are you talking about going to
courts.
court?
I'm talking about courts, like the NRS
Yeah.
and all that.
Oh, so that is collections.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't know, I guess Doug thought they were so great and everything, but I'm looking at some other options. You know, I'm not gonna follow exactly what Doug did.
We
Yeah,
never
I'll
got
listen to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we would like, we need to get reports on what is in collection and what's being done about the money that's in collection.
Yeah.
And, you know, we should have started the meeting with, this is our money. Mike says it all the time. This is money that's already earned, and it's money we deserve to be paid on. So, I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, what gets in the way sometimes is how busy we get, and we can't get to it. But that's why we have new faces from time to time. Them new faces gotta learn how to do this. When we're all gone out of here, they're the ones that are gonna be doing it anyway. So, these two have proved that they could be pushed, and they could be pushed early in their career, and they could take it. So, you can still push them. So, push them to learn everything. I had a great meeting with Jake yesterday. He's hungry. He's really hungry. So that's what we need.
Really, I think that's it, 10%. Yeah, I think going to an attorney is the last resort. I mean, I can decide that if I'm talking to these people and I can kind of read the writing on the wall and they keep on bucking. But, you know, it's back to what Skip said. If you find yourself like this from the very start, especially the dispatch carrier relationship, because a lot of times they're like, no, I will not pay that because I did nothing wrong. Meanwhile, they you know, froze half a load of strawberries. Something like that, I understand. No sense in you guys arguing with them. Do the next load. Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, thanks, JD. We'll start with the aging, and we'll start with the east. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to we know that our terms are 14 to 21 days, but we're going to talk about, and I suggest that we start getting after people at 21 days. But as far as this meeting goes, I want to talk about everything 30 and over.
Bottomly, you are in contact with them. You said they sent a couple checks.
Yeah, we got some big money the other day, but we will, I'll get an answer from Martha. There's, I don't know, 10 loads that are over 70. I gotta find out why. That's it.
The Dutchman Tree Farms for $1,800.
We have a
Special.
check holding and accounting that does not have a complete load number on it, so accounting won't do
What
anything
can we
with
do
it.
about that?
I have contacted Pam and I've sent her emails, and we've tried to call, Seth tried to call. We just can't get him on the phone, and just keep saying the office is closed. So we
Call
may have to
Powers.
go through Powers.
Yeah,
Because we have now invoiced our last hour, load to Dutchman too, so we'll have them.
yeah. Let's just call Powers, and call Andy, not Sarah. Call Andy, and, let's do that today and find out what the issue is. Powers did tell me, because whenever we did the loads and they wanted us to invoice them, I said, all right, you're good for the money if something happens, so. And I still think they are, but they're done.
Yeah,
Christmas is
yeah,
over.
oh yeah, and like I said, we
The
have one,
check's there.
the check for 2 loads is in accounting, but they won't take a check
Eddie,
that
can you
doesn't
see
have
if
a
you can
load
do
number
something
on it.
about that? We got money in the house.
It's $1,800 check,
We
Yes.
got it here, but
Mhm.
something's
Right.
holding up why we can't cash
and,
it.
and
It's
they're
just-
kind of related to Powers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of Powers' customers, but we ended up on a few loads,
3.
we invoiced Dutchman, and, because that's the way they wanted to do it.
Did they say they would pay?
Yeah, we got it. We got the
Oh,
check.
you already got the check
Yeah,
in
we
the house.
we got the check in
There's
the
a
house.
check in-house for 2 loads.
But-
The other load we just invoiced for.
And all
And
we need is.
The load number is not complete on, there's 2 load numbers.
Oh,
We
the
have
only
both.
load that's on the sheet is the one that we didn't invoice. for,
Right, but we have thus, we paid the carrier and we're invoicing that one.
Okay.
The one that checks in-house for, it's got 2 load numbers on the check for the
Okay.
first 2 that we invoiced, but one of them's not a complete number.
You mean
We
on
not
their
figure
side
out
or
what it
our
is?
side? What do you mean,
You have to
what
open-
load number?
On the
they're
check.
They're
On the check.
Guys are done.
It
I mean,
has,
can
you
we
know
not
how
be-
the check has 2
Yeah.
load
Oh,
numbers?
yeah.
Well,
We kinda know.
I know
Yeah,
which
procedurally.
2 loads it is,
Yeah.
because it's the
Right.
only 2
That's
loads
what
that we
we
invoiced, but
State's
accounting,
telling me
Mhm.
But that-
they want to contact Dutchman to make sure that that's what they're thinking.
Well, they got, that situation got caught in Betsy's whip.
Yeah, that's it. See if you can climb in that
All
work.
right.
All right, Dutchman.
Good luck.
L&M, Betsy came by and told me that the ones that are the oldest, over 40 days, are being processed. And that on my other notes, I had 2 details, and that's on the other one, so she's working that. Long and Scott, that's that cluster that happened. We paid Solid Rock on a load that got dumped. My agreement with Bill at Long and Scott was that it would just be a push. Thered be no claim, there'd be nothing. We just find a place to dump it. So we wound up paying, Long and Scott paid us for a load that never delivered. We paid the truck for a load that never delivered. And then we got the money back from Kurt on 2 loads. Betsy's got that straightened out. I talked with Pam. She is now going, I mean, she just wanted to write it off, you know, because they owe us $2,400 and they paid us $2,400. I said, no, accounting don't want to do it like that. So we sent them a check. I talked with her yesterday. She hadn't received the check yet. Once she receives the check, she's going to pay the $2,400 one and the $250. She's going to write a check. So that will pay this week. Nature's Way 452109 is in-house yesterday. Nature's Way waits till they get paid. There was 2 order numbers on there. They were holding the first order number till the second one showed up. The second one at 30 days for Nature's Way. I talked with Gail yesterday. It's not been put into pay yet. Again, then you run into the quirky ones. Nature's Way, we've been dealing with them for years. We're not going to quit doing business with them, but they won't pay us until they get paid. That's one of those old school.
I wonder, can Parker assist us with that? Is he still there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's there,
they-
but their accounting, I mean, they don't
They
pay
told
their
us up
customers.
front.
They don't pay us till they get paid, so, but we always get paid, so, I mean, that's,
Right.
Powers Tree Farm, you talked with them
Well, I
yesterday?
didn't talk to them, Matty talked to them.
Okay,
What'd they say, Matty?
She sent a check for $72,000 last Thursday. They all came off mine. The ones that I had came off, so it must be.
Yeah, there's only a couple here. I got 3 on mine. I ran it yesterday afternoon. I've got 453278, 453130, and 452657.
that's all it's left?
That's all it's on east.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it. So I ran this yesterday afternoon, so that clears a bunch of them away.
United Pickle, I'm just seeing that one. Anna Marie, I'm starting to do some outbound stuff with her. She was checking that for me. I just kind of, that one snuck in between the Ps and the Ws. Walter P. Rawl, there's 2 there. Jamie has given me, they're paid, they're put in for approved to be paid.
Rawls are gone too, Jeff.
Okay, good. How about the United Pickle, that's still
That's
there?
still there.
How
That's
many
38
is it?
days.
Okay, I'll get that one today. All right.
That's it. On that one, here, JD, this is the most recent one.
Okay, all right.
Talking about United Pickle, you seen the little board I made up on new customer, I don't know what I call it, customer of the month or one customer per month. That's what we're gonna shoot for each of us to come up with a new customer every month. If you don't make the calls, I know your name's not gonna get on the board. Or if you don't ask the questions, your name isn't gonna get on the board. We're gonna have some type of, I gotta get with Mike, but we're gonna have some type of winnings, whatever, for the amount of customers that you generate and the gross profit that's tied to it. But we will keep track of that, and I'll get back to Mike here on what the winnings are gonna be. But that's something that we definitely have to get better at. And the new folks, we're gonna count on you to do that. You have to, you got a great opportunity, Daniel, with the area that you come from. You're smack in the middle of produce. Everyone knows each other down there. You got family that knows produce people, and you just really can take advantage of that. And you already have plans to, by visiting Jimmy Birch and them. So they're thick as thieves, the folks down there. They hang together, they trust each other, and you can get in there like Flint, all right? They'll do business with me, of course, they will, because I'll stay after them enough, but they'd rather hear a familiar face than this Yankee voice here. So, and they'll stick with you. So, just stay after them along with anybody else down there. You can talk to Jimmy Birch about who else he suggests that you could use.
Do you have a question or something? Also, with these duties, I'm still the Director of Business Development. You guys mentioned before, if there's a customer that you haven't gotten anywhere with, sometimes a new face, a new voice can turn the corner. So if you have customers you want me to go after, fire my way.
I mean, that's pretty good offer. You know, sometimes it's hard for us to get out of the office, but that's what he does. So use it. All right, Wes.
Go ahead, Dave.
I had one Pacific Sales
That's off.
that has paid. There were 3 Salems, they paid 2 of them, they said the third one will pay Friday.
Which one's that? I'm showing you have 2 left. I ran it this morning. You have a Salem 452263, which is 55 days, and you have a US Foods 313 that's 50 days. That's all that you have left. Everything else is paid.
Okay, the Salem you just mentioned, the 452263 is the one that's left. The US Foods was settled in PowerTrack yesterday.
Okay. So one. Good work, Dave.
Awesome.
But I want get Josh to grab one of your other customers and just show them the ropes on this.
We really did the first step of that the last couple days.
Right.
We did the same thing yesterday with the Nature's Way, pulling the folders, looking at the numbers, calling them, giving them the number.
You know, and then when you guys see it as your own, that this is what I am gonna be called on to do and called on to talk about in these meetings, then, you know, it's something that you guys have to just take it and run with it, you know? You know, I don't, you know, I'm sort of to the thought that whenever I ask somebody to do something, or I like to forget about it. I do. I like to forget about it because I don't want to have to go back later and say, oh, did they really do that or not? For the most part, we're pretty good at that. We really are. For the most part, we're excellent. But, and there's something that gets in the way sometimes, our jobs. So just let us know, just let me know if you run into some roadblocks for any deadlines. And I'm not unrealistic, I know what it's like, so, but if you're asked to do something, if you need to do some type of check system or a reminder system with your Outlook calendar or something, stickies, do it. And just make sure you're following up. All right, Maddie.
Well, independence is in judgment, that's hurts.
Now, when you say judgment, what's that mean?
It is with an attorney, because we're trying to go after, he owns property, and so it legitimately is in judgment.
So what,
How
what
far
is he said,
along?
he's just not paying?
They're like,
Oh, no, he's done, he's done.
Is
My
that-
dad's,
Right,
Yeah,
that's the
business.
guy here in Raleigh. I saw some correspondence, but I didn't have any of the
basically, he's
information.
got funds tied up in other stuff, so as soon as those funds are released, we're gonna get ours,
Okay.
so.
So legal, we're out of it.
Aerostars just won, and it's 85 days. They finally got what they needed. It was for a duplicate pickup number where there was 2 trucks sent in. They sent ours away. U.S. Foods 62. That has been, thanks to Dave, invoiced yesterday. Ellen Companies, everything is under 40 now for them.
Oh, Betsy handles that, right? Okay.
Yeah. Skyline, Angela says that will be paid this Friday. She doesn't know what happened. And then Patandon, Produce Source Partners, Bottomley, and On a Roll. I have check numbers for all of those. They were all mailed last week. So all of those should come. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 check numbers, so all those should come on.
That's an excellent report. I mean, it really is. It's, I think that, you know, we're an example to the rest of the company.
No doubt.
And we just need to keep it up.
Yeah.
For
I
one
see-
pretty good reason, that we deserve to be paid,
Right.
you know?
I see all the reports now, and
Yeah.
you guys are up there.
So, all right, let's jump into open loads. How much time we got?
About 15, 14 minutes.
All right, let's, okay.
The KK carriers we talked about last time, we
Yeah,
got
let's-
that taken
let's
off,
get
we
that
did,
off.
we got
Oh,
it
that's
off.
off.
It's
Good.
got notes on it and everything, but
Yeah.
we did get it off. Then the AMS, the Camway, the Superior, load delivered, those are all the claim loads.
Yeah,
Also the, yes, Chanel General, that's the,
That's
it's a tree,
the
that's a
one.
tree claim,
That's a
okay.
claim. Transaxle, the driver lost the paperwork, it's a Bonnelly load. We finally, got the, delivery sticker, so Bonnelly says we can invoice with that.
Oh, good.
But accounting won't let us pay the carrier, and I don't wanna pay the carrier until we get paid, even though they say we could do it.
Okay.
Don't have an invoice from the carrier because their factoring company will not send one without a guarantee that we're gonna pay them. Well, I'm not guaranteeing that because I don't know if we're getting paid. So they're just gonna go ahead and invoice Bottomley with that, and we'll just get an
They will,
invoice, we'll
okay.
chase the invoice afterwards.
All right, good. Get on
I've
that.
got like, GTI and KBG Logistics, I'm still waiting on paperwork, I've been after them, I'll call them again today.
Who's the customer?
Those are both Bottomleys.
Okay.
Lot of
No,
new-
wait, one of them's Mountain Valley, I'm sorry. One's Mountain
GTI,
Valley and one's Bottomley.
GTI is,
GTI is Bottomley,
okay.
and KBG is, Mountain Valley.
Okay, let's, if we run into a complete roadblock, let's call the customer. Let's call Mountain Valley, I'll call Bottomley and say, hey, you guys were paid for this, can we be paid? We need to invoice you. And if I have to, I'll call Mitchell, but let's do that. Let's call customer.
Mountain
Okay.
Valley in Southern California?
No,
Or in
No,
Southern
Maine.
Colorado?
Out of
this
Maine.
is, this is up in Maine.
Oh,
Call,
same company though?
no,
Okay.
And then there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more that are on there, but they're all in accounting, so they'll be cleared.
okay.
I settled them and put them in accounting, so.
That's it.
A lot of that Costco stuff, Rita and Daniel did a hell of a job getting after that and getting the
Stickers and
stickers for trucks that lost it, so yeah, that was just a pure sweat equity there.
All right. Westies?
In the west, on the top, we got Country Fresh and Salem Produce. I think those are claims with Dave.
Where are they? Or-
One, 4K, the first one is in collections. Noble, we're just waiting on a salvage check.
Country Fresh is,
No.
who's the, Noble?
No,
No, it's
Country
No,
Fresh
she
is
said.
4K. It's, 4K is the truck. That's
Okay.
in collections.
That's the Texas load, the load that got,
The drug load?
yeah.
Hey, you know what? Perfect example. I have no idea about that. Any of the reports and files that Doug has sent me, which is like 10 pages. I mean, I don't have an active claims or collections list to go by. So if you guys could, anything that's open right now, let me know about it.
Well, if they're in
Give me the load
collections,
number.
you should be able to get to the stuff that he has in collections.
Well, yeah.
This one is. That one's in collections.
Yeah. Did you see it on a report of
No,
some sort?
no, we
Okay.
just know that it's in collections and then
Right.
whatever, I'm not sure, that's what I said earlier, I'm not sure what he did with collections, how hard he pushed them, or if he can
Right.
even push them, that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got so many, it's fragmented. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many files, Doug like puts them away in like folders and hides them, and, you know. Hell, I'd like to just be able to do this.
okay.
And then I can do it electronically.
Yeah.
So if you guys can get me a copy of anything that's like open, like claims that give me some status on them, so I can kind of get my head around it.
Okay. And the other one's a partial claim that, we're waiting on a salvage check.
Who is it, Doug?
Customer.
Who's the truck?
It's Noble Trucking.
And just get them to Jim. Get these to Jim, any of these claims. Both sides, just so Jim's up to speed on the ones that are in the process of being handled.
And then I got 4 Matson loads that Maddie is handling. We're just waiting on the invoice.
They're still waiting on stuff from carriers, and yes, I have to have the bills because they're Janine's loads, candy loads.
Do we have to wait for Mattson? Can you always know who the trucks are. Can we call the truck?
We've called the truck on 2, yeah, I mean, I'll push harder for that.
I'd
Okay.
just call the truck. Just say, hey, Mattson, I'll tell you we're calling your truck
Well,
because
he
we
knows.
need paid.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah.
I call him. I dispatched, we
Yeah.
dispatched.
And you, just because we didn't have the bills, is that correct? Or
Oh, who's that?
Matson's a double broke, Janine,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
we can't invoice the candy loads without the invoices.
Right,
I mean, without the bills,
right, so that's the issue, is the bills.
yeah.
All right.
Then we have a Trinity load. What's holding us back on that is they're a broker as well. And when their truckers sent them, carriers sent them their Ds, they were completely black. Like they sent me a picture of them. Like so when they scanned it, I guess
Who do we deliver it to?
it was delivered to U.S. Foods.
Did we call US Foods?
No, we have not.
Let's call US Foods, see if they got any cleaner bills, and then get the ball rolling on it. Is it US Foods Zebulon?
Yes, it is.
It's
Now,
worth it.
what,
To me, it's worth it to drive over there and get them.
what we can do, because we invoice electronically, I'm confident there's no problem with the load, nothing, it's old enough, nothing's been reported. I mean, we can settle those without bills.
Right. There's a process for payment.
And I'd like to go through the normal, proper procedure, but if we don't get them, we can settle.
How old is it?
We can settle it without bills.
It is 52 days old.
It's old enough to get our money. Let's just get the money.
Just tell them to send us an invoice.
All right, next.
And then I have a GMA Trucking. I talked to the lady there yesterday, and she is going to fax me those today, but I'll follow it up with her today. She said the only thing that was holding her back was she just got the bills last week.
How old is that?
GMA is 45 days old.
And where did that go?
It went to Sunkist Growers, was our customer, and it went to Perishable Foods in Austell, Georgia.
You can call them. I mean, you really can call the receiver
All right.
and just pretend like you're a driver. I mean, drivers do it all the time. They lose their bills and they want paid, so they call. I mean, just call. And it'll take you 5 minutes to call. Hey, can I speak to someone in receiving? Okay, give me someone who has a, and have the PO available. Give them the PO and just say, hey, is there any way you can fax me a copy or email a copy of the bills? That's the first person I go to. I
That
mean,
wouldn't work for that, but every other shed, it's a one-man show.
really?
It's very small, but I can email them.
Okay, all right.
But typically, yes, I would absolutely go that route.
Alright, and then I have a JPG Express. It is 40 days old. It went to Harris Teeter and Indian Trail.
Same load?
That's correct. And when I called her yesterday, she said that she is going to email me, but I did not receive an email back, so I just need to follow up on that today.
Do that, and then just let me know what you do and what she says,
Alright.
and let Jimmy know too. On all these correspondence with your customers on collections, remember to let Jimmy know. Because if he can see that it's getting older, he doesn't need our permission to jump in.
Alright.
That's his job. His job is collections, and so because there's one person in the corner office gonna be getting after him. If we don't do our collections, of course, Mike will get after me too, but that's his new job. That's what he does. So it's to his best interest to jump on stuff quick too, just like it is ours.
But,
What's next?
can I say, minimize the emails on status updates on ones that you know are gonna eventually pay. And as far as the time, like 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, 90 days, that doesn't matter to me. If you hit a roadblock where it's like, there's an impasse, that's when you bring me in. But you don't need to notify me on every thing, like, okay, this guy said he'd pay, check the order. I don't need to know that.
Well, notify me then, because my goal is to eliminate this meeting once a month. And if we're on top of it and we're doing that, there's no reason that we have to meet if we're doing it and stuff is clean. That's the goal. And you know, the cleaner it looks, the better chance we have of meeting every other month. All right?
Alright, and then I have a PQT load, which I got the bills yesterday, but he's not gonna send us an invoice until he finds his lumber receipt. He seems to have misplaced it,
Okay.
so,
You can find a lumper receipt. Call the receiver.
alright.
All these things that, and you didn't know this, if no one told you, just call the receiver. Just say, hey, this guy went in there, hey, maybe you can, maybe you can't, and this is all in the interest of what?
Getting our money?
Getting our money, yeah. I mean, sometimes we allow other people's negligence or slowness cause us not to be paid what we've earned. And you're gonna jump in. I mean, you gotta jump in. If it's company money and your money, you gotta jump in. If there's any way to get it, think of that way to get it.
Well, it would also help if we would, and we keep saying this every meeting, get on a consistent basis with checking stuff before it hits 30 days. Start calling and looking for those bills at, 14, 20 days, whatever, rather than waiting till it's 30, because it's,
Oh, yeah. And that is what our new agenda is gonna be. It's gonna be up to Dave to make sure that if you're too busy to get the stuff right away, or it's stuff that you know that he can do, and stuff that you can do, and hold him to it. Hold him to it. And Chad, the same thing with the other folks in that group. Hold him to it. Give him deadlines. Say, I want to see it by X. Don't just, I learned this the hard way. If you just say to somebody, hey, I need it ASAP. ASAP to them may not be ASAP to me. So I find out real quick what ASAP means. So give them a deadline, and then check, and then recheck. You don't have to be a pain in the butt, but the best thing that we got, in my opinion, is the Outlook calendar. It's a reminder that pops up, something that it's a meeting reminder, appointment reminder. If you don't know how to do that, learn how to do that. That's a good thing to remind yourself, and good thing to remind others. All right, next.
On top of that, Maddie kept telling me if you call them enough times, they will give you what you want. There's a guy, like this guy for PQT, he kept telling me he didn't send it to me, he never told me he didn't have a lumber receipt. I called him during lunch one day and he got kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
And then so I called him that afternoon later, and he was like, well, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Well, he didn't get it to me tomorrow, so I called him during lunch again. Of course, he got frustrated again, so then literally after lunch, I got the bills like sent to me.
Squeak and wheel.
What's next?
3 minutes.
And then I have one more. I have Saturn Freight. It's only 17 days old. Saturn Freight says they do not have the bills from their truck yet.
17 days only.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to claims. We may have talked about most of them already, but let's,
Yeah, so,
just that one, is that the only one we have in the works yet?
yes, sir.
What's the name of it?
Well, then that Archer Express.
Let's go.
It's,
Oh, yeah, Archers.
I'll give you all this stuff, Jimmy.
Okay, all right,
And,
that's awesome.
All right, Yetchelo,
This is the guy, our boy that passed away with the trees. And I've got a claim number. The guy sent me an email that I'll forward to you yesterday late, and he said that everything that we need to be indemnified for the load, I sent him a copy of the check that we haven't submitted to Powers yet. And he said that it's being processed, so whoever they're talking to, he says he hopes to get it resolved. He put a time frame on it, he said by the end of the month, so.
Okay.
Where we stand with it is that we're gonna be reimbursed for the 14,000 and change because we're gonna pay Powers. Now, what you're gonna have to do once we get reimbursed is because Powers gave us a delivered price, and the delivered price should,
less.
yeah, we should get our $5,000 out of that
Yeah,
money.
plus the
The comp
advance.
checks, yeah, okay.
Archers, I'm not real concerned about that because we have,
It's less than.
there's
it's
money,
less
I got
than-
some money on the load that we're gonna take it. I mean, it's a long story, but we're gonna take it. It's less of a claim than the freight. Anything else, Chad, in East? All right,
The
well,
only thing I've got on West is the NFC US Foods. Insurance would not budge on it till we have the salvage check. Salvage check will be in-house today, so hopefully we can finally get that
all right.
full truckload claim.
It's just, keep Jim up to speed on that,
Okay.
on that exact details of that.
Two, we already mentioned 4K in collections and the Noble partial Whitman salvage.
Send Jim an email on the ones that we know are in collections, that way he can get after collections and see where they're at with it. I don't know how long we keep them in there, but 4K and what else, Dave?
Noble,
Yeah, okay. we
waiting on
talked about that.
salvage,
Anything else?
that's it.
Normally salvage is what, 3 weeks or so before you actually get a
Yeah.
check generally? Is that still okay?
That's really the, open advances we didn't do. Does anybody have any pressing open advances that aren't related to claims or open loads?
I got Willie Lewis, I've been after him for 6 months to write us a check for $233.90. I'm trying to load him, but
Okay.
he's not answering his phone anymore, so.
And the new procedures that we're doing with the credits and debits, they're all coming to my desk. I'm gonna take them to I'm gonna make a copy, and I'm gonna put it in a file. You can either write on that actual sheet that I gave you what you did about it, and I'm gonna put a deadline, which I'd like to have it back, get it back to me, and then I'll throw it away, or whatever you tell me. So let's, that is it. Thank you.
Huddle starting.
Thanks, Jake.
Oh, no problem.
I guess we won't start until since we're half the office.
Oh, yeah.
Bowie Produce, was there a mention about Bowie Produce? There's 7,
That's
Give me a.
to Curly?
Oh, okay.
You wanna grab your papers?
I don't know.
Give me a grab
And
that.
also, I'm going up to Asheville, Billy, I'll be up there Monday and Tuesday. If I can drop by and bring a big stick to anybody, let me know.
Is that all? I don't know. Is that all? You gotta turn it off.
I
Oh,
doubt it
you need
is,
to
it's
get
still
that.
flashing
That's
red.
his camera. He brought that camera.
I didn't know.